guys, so we are headed up in the F250. First time Mom has been in the truck while we're towing. And I didn't want to really say anything to her because I wanted to see what her honest initial thoughts were between this truck and our old EcoBoost. So if you don't know, we had a 2011 Ford F150 with the 3.5 EcoBoost. Towed like a monster. I mean that in a good way. And kind of going down the road, it was a little floaty. You could definitely feel the trailer back there. So I wanted to just get Brooke's initial impression because really safety is our main priority for even thinking about this truck. So Brooke, how do you feel about it so far? We've been towing for about 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, there's a substantial difference. I'm actually surprised at how much of a difference there is. It doesn't feel, I guess the word you used was floaty. It doesn't feel as floaty. It doesn't feel like the trailer's moving at us, especially when we go over a bump. We don't do kind of the up and down motion that we used to do. And what's really going to be a telltale sign, I know on the trip we're taking right now, it can be a little bumpy. So it'll be interesting to see as we keep going how well it does. But so far I'm really impressed. It feels a lot more stable than the EcoBoost, even though the EcoBoost did a really great job.
Yeah, so there's a big difference. So I think the biggest difference is the stability while you're towing, like while you're up to speed. So the EcoBoost, I mean, it's got about the same power numbers as this 6.2 liter, and it's a lighter truck. So you can imagine with a lighter truck and the same power numbers as far as torque and horsepower, maybe even a little more torque in the EcoBoost. We've got a situation where the EcoBoost may even get it from going from a dead start a little bit quicker, but it's a huge difference when we're just going down the road at speed. We're doing about 50, 55 right now, and it's funny because normally, you know, when you're towing, you'll go over a bump, you'll feel your front tires, then you'll feel your rear tires, and then you'll feel the trailer hit. I don't even feel the trailer hit the bumps right now, and we've already gone through downtown Winder, Georgia, which is, you know, any downtown area that's bumpy. I don't even feel the trailer back there. I mean, I feel it a little bit moving the truck a little bit, but nothing like a half ton. Would you agree with that?
Completely, yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely more planted to the ground. It's exactly what we were looking for in a 3/4 ton truck. I really don't know why they call them 3/4 tons anymore, because it's more, I think the payload on this truck is over 2,500 pounds. The payload on the F150 was 1,670 something pounds. So we were cutting it pretty close on the F150 as far as payload is concerned. We worried about bicycles and too much firewood and, you know, really loading any type of items in the truck besides ourselves. Well, with this truck, we don't have any of that to worry about. You don't even have to do the math anymore. We got such a large cushion as far as payload's concerned. The one thing I will say about towing with a naturally aspirated V8, the 6.2 obviously is naturally aspirated, versus the twin turbo V6, there's a lot more downshifting involved with this 6.2 liter, and that's just because of the naturally aspirated motor. The turbos, obviously, they have a lot more torque at lower RPM range, so the downshifting was much less often. As far as braking is concerned, both trucks brake fairly well. You know, an F150 will actually brake itself about 30 feet less, and about 30 feet less than from 60 than an F250. So I know the F250's brakes are bigger, but the F250 is also much heavier. So the braking's about the same. It really is all about the stability on the road while you're towing like we are right now. So I hope that kind of explains it. We'll go into details, the pros and cons, in another video or later in this video. But I just wanted to get really Brooke's initial impression while we've been towing, and you think this is a substantial difference. Yeah. So Mama's happy, really about keeping these babies safe. So see you guys. All right, guys. So we are about 10 miles into the interstate portion of this trip, and what you think, Brooke?
I think it's performing kind of like I expected. We were saying earlier, and then we realized we should have been recording it, that when we were at this part of the interstate before, before, you know, you can feel it a little more. And I wouldn't say that you can't feel the trailer at all right now. You can definitely feel it, but it is improved.
So there's two different groups out there. You got the F150 group, especially the EcoBoost folks, who love their truck. You're going to get some entertainment from Beckett, apparently. Who love their truck, and I put 180,000 miles on an EcoBoost. I am not anti-EcoBoost at all. It definitely can perform. It can definitely pull this trailer. The reason we went 250 is, again, stability on the road. There is a substantial difference, very substantial difference. The one thing I will say is, you hear a lot of F250 guys out there. You got some F250 guys that just tell you you shouldn't be pulling anything over 28 feet with anything less than an F250. And those same guys are the ones that tell you you don't even know it's back there. That's not quite true. You can still feel the trailer a little bit. It's not. It is to say you can't even feel it. That's just not true. But it is substantially better than the F150. I don't know how many times I have to say substantial, but it'll be several. Now, a couple of things I will say. Again, I put 180,000 miles on my EcoBoost, and for those of you who are on the fence whether or not to get an EcoBoost or an F250, now we went gas for several reasons. We just don't need a diesel for towing twice a month. We just didn't see the price increase was worth it. Plus, you've got DEF fluid nowadays, and you hear these horror stories on the forums about DEF fluid and what it's doing to the insides of these new diesels. So between the price and those horror stories, I just didn't want anything to do with the diesel. So we do have a gas F250, and so far I'm completely satisfied with it on the interstate portion. Again, like I said in the other part, you do have to get used to a little bit more downshifting, but I don't think it's underpowered at all. We're getting into the foothills here, so it downshifts a little bit, but nothing that's concerning. But we didn't go diesel for the DEF reasons and the price. We didn't go back to the EcoBoost because of the stability. Well, the problem with that is I couldn't tow with the 250 to know about the stability. So we kind of taken a shot in the dark there. And for those of you on the fence, I will say it is probably definitely worth it to go F250 if you're looking for that stability. Now, all this being said, I wouldn't have put my kids in an F150 if I thought it was dangerous. There's no way I would have done that. So I kind of use the analogy of I'm not going to not expose my kids to things in a big urban area just because there's a little bit more of a chance of something going wrong down there in an urban area versus like a small town. Is there more of a chance something might happen in an F150? Sure, but it's not unsafe. I don't think it's unsafe. There's always a chance that something can go wrong anytime you're traveling the interstate or anytime you're traveling in a vehicle. There's still a chance something could go wrong in this vehicle. So I don't think those of you that pick the EcoBoost are putting your family in any kind of harm's way. I do think the F250 in best case scenario is a little bit safer. I'll just say it that way. So those of you that are thinking about an EcoBoost, man, let me tell you, it pulls like crazy. It has plenty of power. You're not going to have any issues with power and torque in that EcoBoost. Those of you thinking about a gas F250, it has plenty of power. This trailer probably weighs right now a little over 7,000 pounds. It's 30 feet long, 32 feet long. Very, very stable and plenty of power. So I'm going to go ahead and cut you off while Beckett's going crazy back there. And but I hope this answers any questions you may have. If you're thinking about going F250 versus EcoBoost, I would say it's probably your best case scenario, but definitely don't write off the EcoBoost. If the EcoBoost is going to be much kinder to you as far as the daily driver is concerned. It's a much smoother ride, much better gas mileage. But we decided to go 250, and I think it was the right decision. See ya. Thanks for watching today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Feel free to comment and click our logo below to subscribe. Or join us over at Instagram at the handle you see on your screen.